Commission regular meeting for September 21st. Roll call.
I have it listed this way. Commissioner Scott?
Here.
Mills?
Here.
Overton?
Here.
Barrington?
Here.
Rhodey?
Here.
Bettina?
Here.
And Comstock?
Here.
Alternate commissioners, Smith?
Here.
Sabatier?
Here.
And Grant? Here. All present.
Is Suzanne lying?
Suzanne is not here, however.
Oh, okay. Okay, great. Approval of the minutes. Does everyone have a chance
I have
to?
one question.
Yes.
On the first paragraph where they introduce myself and Commissioner Victoria Brandon, I think it should be noted also that Commissioner Jerry Mills was re-elected.
Okay.
So noted.
He was.
So it's in the record.
Yeah.
But did that happen?
I think I have to look at the review of the tape.
Well, it happened by the vote, I thought, that
Okay.
you referred to. That's why they determined who was going to be what out of four
Yeah.
candidates.
Yeah, I don't recall. If it's in the minutes, then, I mean, if it's on the tape, then we'll add it in. But anyway, that's, for the
I don't
record,
remember.
that's what happened. Is that Victoria was elected the alternate, you were elected the regular member, and Jerry was re-elected as the regular member. So if it's not in last month's meeting minutes, it's going to be in this month's. So we'll check
Okay.
it out.
Okay.
Anything else on the minutes?
If not, I move that we approve the minutes with the change subject to the fact that it happened.
Hasn't been.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Oh, opposed? Motion carries.
I would think that there
Okay. Public comment. This is the time for the public to address the commission on any matter not on the agenda. Anyone from the public? Nope. Consent agenda. Review and authorize payment of expenses for July and August 2016.
I have a question there. I know I'm new and I'm just going to ask a lot of questions. On the legal section in June through July, it's $525, and on July through August, it's $1,837. I'm just wondering what the difference.
Oh, that's per the contract, that when we have a meeting, that it's $1,825. And the $525 is those months that we don't have a meeting. And there's other provisions in Scott's contract that deal with litigation costs and all that, but that's a whole other story. So anyway, that's it. It's the months we have a meeting, it's the 500 and whatever, 25 and then 1,800. That's the difference that you see in that amount.
Okay. Any other questions? If not, we'll look for a motion.
Madam Chair, if there are no other questions, I move that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have public hearing regarding the service review and sphere of influence update for the Lake County Vector Control District. We have the executive officer's report. John?
I will present this matter. Jamie, I might say that Jamie Scott, Dr. Scott, is ill today. And nobody liked my joke about her having dengue fever or Zika. But nevertheless, she is not here. She called me, emailed me, or texted me and said she just can't make it. What we did was we had her here at the last meeting. Do all of you have a copy of the document? There were some that were.
I don't have it.
I don't either.
Well, I got extra copies. Please take that. And what I did for you is we had a discussion of the permitting from the city of Lakeport. The city of Lakeport denied the permit. And they have a plan that they would like to go out and, survey the neighborhood and see if there's a possibility that they could get that permitted at a later date. But that was really the comment on that. And so that updated on that page 12 of the document. On page 10 and page 20, there were typos, and I just put that into the memorandum of the addendum. And I guess she had a chance to answer a lot of your questions at the last meeting. It's unfortunate she's not here, but the staff recommendation is we adopt the following with these changes. And we adopt the two resolutions, one being for the sphere of influence and the other being for the service review. I do have a couple maps too. I only have 2 left, so I can give you that. It's countywide vector control district, and I'll say it. I said it at the last meeting that Dr. Scott has been a pleasure to work with.
Okay.
That's my presentation.
Any questions?
Question or comment that Dr. Scott asked. Pleasure to work with, extremely professional, knowledgeable. She does an outstanding job. With a not outstanding thing to have to do. It's a real challenge.
Yeah, you have to be a unique person. I mean, being an entomologist like her, I mean, it's not me, but that's just, I'm just totally impressed with her.
Me too.
Okay. No other questions? We'll go ahead and open the public hearing. Anyone from the public?
Have to line up against the wall.
Small public today.
Line up, everybody's doing it in 3 minutes, so there's something happening.
Okay. Close the public hearing. Bring it back for any final questions or comments.
Pretty straightforward now.
Okay. And we'll look for a motion.
Madam Chair, I would move that we receive the executive officer's report and offer the resolution 2016-0011 updating sphere of influence for Lake County Vector Control District.
Oh, there's 0010 also, the service review.
So amended.
And the sphere.
So amended.
Okay.
So we have a motion to
Second.
receive the report in both resolutions. And a second. Okay. Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye. I'll vote for that.
What was the second?
And Roby, and a roll call.
A roll call, please.
Yes. Commissioner Scott?
Aye.
Mills?
Aye.
Overton?
Aye.
Barrington? Roby?
Aye.
Martina?
Aye.
And Comstock?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Move on to other business. Review LAFCo's conflict of interest code and authorize the executive officer to sign and file the 2016 local agency biennial notice for filing.
I presented this to you. We're required to file a biannual report, and it's our opportunity to look at the conflict of interest code at the same time that most of you don't ever see. I referenced it to new commissioners. Essentially, everyone in the room, with the exception of Kathy and Maurice, need to file a 700 form. And you file those by April 1st, thereabouts. Or if you're leaving, or assuming you're leaving office within 30 days. In this county, it's fairly easy because we don't have districts that overlap the county boundary, at least not yet. And so your jurisdiction of office is the entire county, whether you're a city member or public or district or whatever. So those are the key points of that. So the recommendation is to authorize the executive officer. I think I did the chair of the executive officer to sign the, I see there's an inconsistency here, to authorize the biannual notice to be signed and sent.
Any questions?
And any questions on the conflict code if you have any?
Nothing?
I think we all do this in all our offices, that we really said.
I think so. Okay, if not, we'll take a motion.
I move that we direct the executive officer to sign and transmit the 2016 local agency biennial notice to the county clerk, declaring the LAFCo has reviewed its conflict of interest code and no amendment is required at this time. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
I've never been able to figure out how to say it.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We are moving right along.
I know. Oh,
It's your turn, John.
too bad Jamie wasn't here. We have two annexations into Finley Water, and one of them is within the sphere of influence. They've already made an application. The other one's adjacent to the sphere of influence. A concern I have is on the one that's within the sphere of influence. It's not a big deal, but CEQA specifically requires the county to forward the environmental documents to LAFCo. And we were with the program, and that was happening, but there's been some changes in the community development department. So I have to politely remind them that we do have a responsible agency role in reviewing the documents. And as I said, in this case, it's really a no-brainer. It's in the sphere, it's surrounded by, I think, 3 sides by the district, the CSA. But that was the one thing I did notice. It was a procedural. It could have been much more serious. It could have been like a 200-acre agricultural area in Big Valley. And I would have really been concerned about that. So that's moving through the process. Another thing that I noticed is, God, everybody's gone around here, down on 4th Street. And there's a property tax exchange negotiation that's required. Kelly, a long time ago, took the position that the board wants to see everyone. Okay, I can respect that. However, it does require the assessor and the auditor to provide information, and then the county exec does the resolution, puts it before the board, and there's some specific timelines in section 99 of the taxation code. So, anyway, you lost the assistant, Josh, who understood this, and then you have Carol there, and I don't think Carol does, but I know she communicates with Kelly. So, but I've got to kind of politely remind her that there are some timelines with this, and I've received the assessor's information, but not yet the auditor's information. When I do, then I'm going to be contacting Carol or whoever. It depends who she hires as an assistant, if they've had experience in the county or not. A lot of counties have master tax agreements, and so they don't understand this stuff. It's really not complicated. It's just following the procedure. And then the board has the discretion to allocate any property tax. But frankly, after AB8 and Prop 13, the boards typically do not give up any property tax. That's just that's the reality of the situation. The other annexation is the lady that has a bad well, and she's adjacent to the district, and it's not in the sphere, so she will have to have the sphere amended to include it. She's surrounded on 2 sides or 3 sides. Also, there's an area that CSA that is surrounded 3 sides, and I don't understand why all of it shouldn't be in the CSA. And they're all 10-acre, 5 and 10-acre lots. So that's the 2 annexations in Finley Water.
Before you continue, are you done with that, John?
Yes.
Ask a question, Madam Chair.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that one of the applicants, sort of the annexation, has to do with the Burrell property?
Yes, that's the one, yeah.
Yes, okay. As I understand it, because time is the essence on this, and our board has approved this, and he's struggling with this, and I know that there's some other partners that are on the wings waiting for this, and there's a service that's provided. with this rezone. I agree, these parcels obviously need to be within CSA 5 with this, which is also my supervisorial district in Finley. Property, I just want to make sure the property tax exchange delay they're referring to is just pro forma. There's no real exchange. You're just basically bringing.
It's pro forma. There's a zero tax in.
Right, there's no impact.
Right,
So,
and I look at.
so in these situations, my recommendation would be to reach out to somebody like myself, or, you know, that we can use as conduit to help move this along. If
Right.
That's what's hanging
I
us
will,
up.
I will do that for you. In fact, I would suggest that the board go as far as to adopt a master agreement for zero taxing agencies. Lake County has not done that. I worked with the county administrator.
It would simplify it
Get
instead of
that
doing it
done.
individually.
All of these CSAs and all of this stuff, I got 3 of these hanging up right now. And if you can pass one, I've even got it written for you, the county. I'll just forward it to you, Tony, and
Yeah.
you can
Make it a lot easier.
get it, put it on the board agenda, a master agreement for zero taxing.
Because I can imagine, as long as there's no impact that's harmful to the county as an entity, why would there just be kind of a more efficient process in place? for-
Yeah, I totally agree. For example, the Caledonia County Water District, that one, you may want to negotiate the tax agreement, because they are a taxing agency.
That's a difference.
Right.
That's different. Or
But for non-taxing,
yeah, non-taxing agent entity.
and with CDD, if there's any hangups, just, contact us.
Yeah, I think it's just a matter that you have a new director there, and actually, the Harrell one was done when Scott de Leon was an interim, I noticed on one of the resolutions, but nevertheless, I'll work with you on
On
that.
CEQA, that,
Yeah.
that's a good thing.
As far as the rest of the project, it's fine. It's just that, there was that procedural glitch in this revenue taxation code glitch.
Okay.
But that's it. So Spring Valley, there's an annexation sphere amendment, and I'm going to recirculate that because I only got comments from the county surveyor, and that also is subject to revenue and taxation code. And at this point, it was probably sent out the week before Matt Perry left. And so and it's a non-taxing entity also, and so maybe that just might save everybody a lot of time. One of the things speaking of this tax exchange and all this property tax stuff, is there are counties that are called consolidated counties, and what happens is if we have an annexation, like that schools annexation to Caledonia or that Forney annexation we recently did, because the auditor and because we're not what they call a consolidated county. I called Anna Price at the State Board of Equalization because Kelly Brown called me from the assessor's office because there was a lot of work. She has to redo a lot of stuff. If the county were a consolidated county, all of that would come up front, instead of it being after it's been approved, filed through the BOE, and all of a sudden the assessor has a stack of paperwork on their desk. And because they're not involved, and I haven't gotten anywhere with the county auditor, because it really starts with the county auditor, is becoming a consolidated county. It starts with the auditor, but there's a lot of upfront work with the assessor. Colusa County is a consolidated county, and there, because of that, the first person I wait to get a letter from is the property tax person in the auditor's office. And I tell you what, the process there for an annexation is a lot smoother than it is in Lake County because of that. It did take a lot of work up front that somebody did in the past. I don't know if it was the current auditor, probably the auditor before the current auditor. So anyway, those are some internal procedural things, but I've not got, it's really not my call. I've emailed the auditor, but I don't know if she's talked to the assessor about it, but they need to, that's something really they should consider. I mean, the BOE people that would be willing to come up and help them, and it would just be a good thing to just streamline these processes. So anyway, we got an annexation at Spear from Spring Valley. I've got a bunch of notices I'm recirculating it the second time because I didn't get any response the first time. And I've got a meeting with special district today to go over this, and let's see, whose district is that? That's Jim's? Oh, okay. But if we had a master agreement like we were just talking about, then that process would be a good verdict. averted. The consolidation of CSA 16 and Paradise Cove and Clearlake Oaks, that's not complete yet. And that was one of my things, because I know Mark Ballinger retired, and when I talked to email Jan or somebody, they thought it was done. No, it's not. So some more work has to be done to finish that up on behalf part of the county. And when that work is done, or a part of the district, one or the other, we need to finish that up. I've got a couple calls in the last month about annexations to the county-only water district. The Vashon property on Santa Clara is one of them. And for Caleone and the mobile home park south of the highway. I got a call from Rochelle Henry, who's the manager for the district, Upper Lake Water District, that now that's right for annexation. And I even think the state's going to even get some money on that.
Upper Lake, because I thought,
Yeah.
what one down in California?
Yeah, I think both of those are in the district sphere of influence.
Right.
But again, both of those now will probably require a tax exchange agreement because they're not taxing agencies. So those are two that happened. Adams Springs is interesting. We were starting to do an Adams Springs MSR. And we met with Robert Stark yesterday, and the new manager, Robert, is kind of phasing out. Ben, didn't get his last name. Did you, Kat? Did you get her last? Okay. Anyway, we met with them, and what we've kind of decided to do is they're doing an engineering study for Pine Grove, 3 CSA, Starview, and a couple others, and Cobb. And so they're doing an engineering study, asking a lot of the same questions that we're going to ask. And so they're in the process. And I'm thinking what we need to do is a service review for the Cobb area water districts, including the 3 CSAs. I know we've done that. We've done Cobb. Haven't done Adams Springs. And there's a few others about and developing some sort of a phased annexation approach. And just doing one service review rather than a bunch of piecemeal service reviews that would take forever. And they're all working with the State Water Resources Control Board, a lady named Sherry Miller, who's in Lake County, and she's really good to work with. And so there's a movement afoot because of the fire and because of a bill signed by the governor about inadequate water systems being mandated to be annexed into what was it?
AB
88. And so anyway, because of that, so we kind of changed gears in the way we're going to handle the Adams Spring MSR. It's just got to be an area MSR. We do it one time, we do one sphere, and that way when these annexations come in, that everything would be a lot easier. And they really all should be under one entity. And the people up there are, for the most part, in agreement with that because they realize they don't have any choice. You've got problems up there because these are old substandard subdivisions. They can't get septic tanks, septic permits, there's problems. There's all kinds of other issues up there. Can't find septic system. So there's some permitting issues at the county and all kinds of issues. And hopefully if they're in a water and wastewater, our water district, that would help.
I imagine you've heard Loch Lomond is not real happy.
Yeah.
Because they spent a lot of money.
Oh, they're going to be, though they can be in the sphere, they can be left out in a phased annexation later. Yeah, right, they spend a couple
really
million
do
dollars.
need to be part of it, but they're just trusting and thinking, losing what they did. They need to get on the team and they're not yet ready to.
Yeah, and those things take time. Yeah,
I know.
I'm familiar
know.
with that. But realistically, there's no conspiracy theories.
No,
here.
there's not.
It's just
There's not.
simply they just need to get water. And in some of those places, their water rates are higher than the Cobb water district. So
Sure, there's
money
small,
to save
there's a
on
lot
it.
of costs, and they'll end up, they don't want to give up their independence, but they're in essence, shooting themselves in the foot if they don't become part of it.
They don't understand it. And also, if they're a member of a larger agency, they got a right to run for the board of directors.
Right.
Exactly, that's what was relayed in the Lockwood facility.
Well, I think it's an education. It's a process.
I just like to agree and reaffirm what Jim just said. Those little water companies don't have enough users to be economically viable and have rates that are reasonable. And the only sensible thing to do is to consolidate. And with the fire, this is an opportunity because they're going to have to replace a lot of their infrastructure, and they may as well do it in an organized fashion, looking towards the future. So I think the approach John is suggesting, anticipating this consolidation over time, is really smart.
Yes. One of the issues, like Lockwood, we spent a lot of money, but Starview's put out a lot of grants to upgrade theirs, which was just an absolute disaster before, and it was destroyed, you would know.
Yeah.
And it was totally destroyed, and
Right.
the grant is gonna be new and good. And Lockwood, you understand, Starview's gonna be where you are, and you can all be one. So if you don't yet get it.
Right.
Some of them thought Robert was trying to grab power. but
Robert is 70 years old.
Robert's
He's not
trying to
to
serve, he's trying to serve the constituency as one.
Who's Robert?
Robert Stark.
Water manager at Complex.
He's been there since water was ready.
His whole career is spent up there. He has a wealth of knowledge.
He's a good man.
I mean, the guy really knows that area. He's the go-to person. So anyway,
Yeah.
that's what's going on with Adams Springs.
We have one more question.
Okay, go ahead.
This brings me. So what are we going, are you going to meet with them on a regular basis to try to get them to see how beneficial this is all going to be for them over time?
Well, we believe it's beneficial. We met with them yesterday, and we decided that we need to start collecting information, and I gave them some information, or things that we need, for not just Adams Springs, but for all of it. And they're doing that engineer's report of all of those districts or areas. So we'll get a lot of the background data that we need, like capacity and these sorts of things. What was fortunate was the water piping that got destroyed during the fire was that piping or conveyance system that needed to be replaced anyway. All the new stuff is still intact. So that's a good thing. So anyway, we're going to meet with them regularly or to go through, to get the information to do the service review and the sphere. And we are interested in capacities and light of the drought and all of that. So that engineering report is going to provide us that information.
I have a question. Is there no way to like put pressure on these districts to consolidate, or do you have to just wait until they decide to get together? Do we need someone, a spokesperson like Water Czar or something that believes in consolidation, or does it just go piecemeal until?
Well, that's a good question. One of my assignments is to talk to Shannon Miller at the Water Resources Control Board, and that's where your pressure is going to come from. Because they've got to implement that SB 88. By the way, they're going to pay for all this. The state is. Because they're a disadvantaged community.
It's a window of opportunity
Yeah.
that needs
It's
to
something
be
we got to jump on.
used.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll talk to Shannon about that. Well, we can, LAFCo can put pressure, but so can the state. And when the state gets involved, then I think I don't think we're really twisting very many, except maybe Loch Bowman, but the rest of them, we're not twisting their arms very much. They wanted it.
Maybe I'm mistaken, but everyone else is ready to get on board without exception.
Yeah, and usually it's just one or two people
It-
that are vocal. That's what I found.
And those two are quite vocal.
Yeah, and there's no sense. I mean, the other people need to understand it's gonna cost them a lot more money if we don't. And so there's gotta be some information out there and
I understand their position, they spent a lot of money, and they upgraded their system.
Right, and that has to be respected. They don't wanna upgrade it, they have to do it all over again.
And they don't.
Huh?
And they don't.
Oh, they don't want to, they don't need to,
Yeah,
yeah.
they don't need to.
And they can be represented on the board. So, yes, so.
That
there's-
was shared with them. They'll do it. So, it's gonna take some more massaging.
Yes, it's a process. This, oh, go ahead, Victoria.
Just a comment about consolidation. Having just gone through this with the RCDs, we discovered that did it in a way which caused us a lot of more trouble than was necessary. By dissolving the existing districts and forming a new one, it meant we lost our workers' comp coverage, had to go through a fantastic amount of red tape. So if they do it in a way where one district is folded into another and with a name change, they will avoid all that mess.
Okay, yeah, that's a way of doing it too, is to, well, Clearlake Oaks and CSA 16, even though that's a CSA, they resolved CSA 16 and annexed that part into the county, Clearlake Oaks County Water District. So we did it differently, but you're right, there are two ways of doing it. So, and I have been in contact with the SDRMA, and I sent them the paperwork they needed. So hopefully everything will be resolved.
I think it's all straightened out now,
Yeah.
but it meant that we could not do some of the work we intended to do for several weeks there because we had no workers' comp coverage.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
And did not
okay.
realize that this was going to happen.
Okay. When you have it now.
Yes, yes.
Oh, good.
Everything's fixed.
Okay. The next one is the street lighting district. We're doing these MSRs, and that's kind of a more minor project, but we've got several street lighting districts throughout the county. And so I'm meeting with them to get the information so we can just do a service review and steer for all those. And I know the Board of Supervisors is working on a change of organization on one of those street lighting districts. So I'll just work with the special districts on that to come up with a sphere for the districts and the service review. I don't think there's a lot of, a whole bunch of work involved in that because we've got a lot of information on street lighting districts and the county just basically pays those utility bills and that's what happens. The county doesn't have an active role in replacing lights and all that stuff.
There's a challenge in that.
There is a challenge, yes. I realize that.
It's gone.
Well, I did notice, I was in Anderson Springs yesterday because I wanted to see it afterwards because I'd never seen it. And I did notice the street light was still there at the corner.
One.
The one street light. And that's when we did an annexation a few years ago on that. Hidden Valley Lake CSD, moving on. That one is I met with the third general manager in recent years, and Kurt Floyd is his name, and presented him with a questionnaire, and it looks like things are going to happen now. When Roland was there 3 times ago, he left and didn't get the information. And they do need to have their sphere updated. I mean, what we did was a bootstrap thing done in, 10 or 12 years ago, if I recall. And then I met with the other guy, the interim, Matt. I met with him, and nothing got done. And so this guy, Kurt, he's already, I mean, even in advance of meeting, he has circulated everything to his department heads or whatever in the district, so that we can have the information to finish that up and to update the sphere and service review.
I've met with Kirk. He is one sharp, checked out guy.
Yeah.
And he's a go-getter.
It sounded that way to me, so I'm jumping while he's not moving on. So He doesn't.
He's actually, he came from Southern California. He took a large pay cut to come here because he wanted to get out of the Southern California area. He's here because he wants to be,
Yeah.
That's good.
and he's not planning on leaving. Because I looked at that and asked him that, obviously, yeah, all the changes.
Yeah.
And
That was the impression I got. So anyway, I gotta remember, he did ask me to send him the old service review. And these things kind of go into my head, and I just gotta remember, that's why I have Kathy to help me. No, remind me that I need to do these things. Anyway.
are you saying she's the brains of the operation?
Right, I'm just there. The next thing is the Kelseyville County Water District. We did a service review. I was one of the first ones we did well over 10 years ago. And the rules have changed, and so I'm meeting again with Jan today. I've got a whole bunch of stuff to talk to her about. And is that we've really got to get moving on getting the Kelseyville County Water Districts here done because, or updated. I know since we've done the last one, we've done 3 different annexations there. So, I mean, there's still lots of change. The findings, required findings have changed. Our policies have changed. And it's 10 years later. I mean, these things have a shelf life. And we just need to work on it. So anyway, those are the projects I have. A lot of these are in process, and they're not to the point of being able to give them to you in any final form. Hopefully we can get the Corral annexation, if nothing else, get that moving real quick. I agree. I think that one should go real quick. So I'll work on that. The next is the LAFCo conference. Alan and Bruno are going, and they're representing Lake LAFCo. And I can't remember who the voting member is. We have a voting member. We'll find one. Oh, I guess I'm looking at them. They're looking at me.
Do we need to
Neither one of them
nominate
are volunteering.
They can arm wrestle.
I think we need to put one on as a voting member. Because I don't want to be the voting member. I think it should be one of you two. So I don't have that on the agenda, so maybe we could just ask that be placed on the agenda and just select a voting member.
That would be perfect. We have time to do that, right?
Yes, if you get a motion, get a majority
You
vote.
need a motion? Someone want to make a motion that we put on the agenda to nominate voting members for the LAFCo conference?
I would so move since the need arose after the regular agenda was published,
right.
and we need to do this before the conference.
There you go. And that makes it acceptable. I second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Great.
Okay, so now the issue at hand is we need a person to represent Lake LAFCo for the vote of any officers for the Cal LAFCO Board of Directors and any policy amendments that they may have. That anyway, we need one of the two that are going to attend the Board of Directors, but the business meeting of the commission and vote on our behalf.
Any volunteers?
I'll do it.
Good.
All right.
There you
All
go.
right, so Alan. Okay.
Do we need to have a motion to appoint Alan as the voting member?
Yes.
I'm sure it will occur informally, but we should have him consult with you in terms of who he votes for. So Ali's new, and you know all these people and what their qualifications are. I think you guys should consult. I agree.
Yeah, when I have the information, I will disperse it and we'll consult. And then I'll give you some background, so backstory.
Yeah, John knows all of that. Well, I make a motion that we appoint Alan Gott as the voting member at the Cal LAFCO conference.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Jump in with both feet.
Anything else, John?
That's not mentioned is the RCD filed the certificate of completion and have distributed to the auditor and assessor and everybody that needs to get it. And also the CRMA. So, and I'll file it with the Board of Equalization, and they should be sending me a letter acknowledging they received the filing. So, as far as the consolidation goes, it's complete right now. It's just a business end that needs to be wrapped up by now.
All right, commissioner reports. Any commissioners have anything they'd like to discuss regarding LAFCo?
I do.
Mr. Roby?
It occurs to me that it's been a long time since we've gotten updated copies of the Cortese-Knox Fitchburg Local Government Reformation Act of 2000. And I think my copy's probably over 10 years old. And I know that they've made little changes on an ongoing basis. So I'm just wondering, I don't know whether we can obtain copies for free or if there's a cost associated, but I think it would be nice if we got copies for all the members of LAFCo so they would actually have the document that we are governed by.
Would it be easier if I, first of all, there's a new edition coming out in December. So I would like to wait a couple months, but
Sure.
as far as the current editions, I could post them on the website. So, I mean, it is quite a bit of expense.
But what's about getting thick?
Yeah, if I post it, it's getting thicker every year, it seems like. If I can post it on the website, that might even be better for most of you. I think all of them actually.
Yeah, digital copies.
And, but I can probably try to go as far as to do a Word version. I convert the PDF version to a Word, so I can, Scott does the same thing. You can do a word search, and it goes so much quicker than going through that thing.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, that's what I'd recommend more than just having another book in your shelf.
And that's fine with me. I just want to have an updated one to refer to.
Maybe when the new one comes out, we can put it on the agenda and have a short discussion about it.
We could, yes. Actually, after the LAFCo conference, there's a, they go through the legislation that's signed, and there's some other issues that are going to be brought up at the LAFCo conference. And at a meeting after the conference, we could discuss what the people that attended picked up and
Right.
share that information with you at the same time.
Okay, that's all I had.
Especially for the new people.
Yeah.
Well, we got Alan going into it. Well, anyway. So that is, we'll do that.
Okay, any other commissioners have anything? Victoria?
Just want to report back, you remember at the last meeting, we were talking about this strange situation where, because of some unfortunate wording in the legislation, we're unable to annex an area that is already being served out of the district. And I was going to meet with Assembly candidate Cecilia Aguilar Curry and bring up the idea that she could sponsor legislation. I just want to say I did that, gave her the suggested language, she was very responsive. I'm sure in the pressure of all this, she's forgotten all about it. But after she's elected, I think if we follow up with her very soon thereafter, good chance she'll be willing to do that.
Great.
I have just one thing that I recently did a presentation to a couple of LAFCos on SB 239, which is the law passed by the legislature giving LAFCO more oversight of fire district consolidations that involve changes in employment status of 25% of the employees or affect more than 25% of the area. But basically, this was the bill, I believe we discussed it a couple years ago, that was sponsored by the Professional Firefighters Association, which would have basically given them a veto authority over any such consolidation. they were motivated by concern that several cities in Southern California were wanting to contract with CAL FIRE and replace their local fire department with CAL FIRE. And the firefighters, of course, were upset. It went through the process. LAFCo strongly opposed it, as did many organizations. But what ultimately got through, because of course this is pushed by the unions, who have considerable power in Sacramento, was nevertheless a requirement that any consolidation of fire districts or change in the structure of providing services that involves more than 25% of the employees or the area are subject to going through a process of LAFCo review, preparation of comprehensive fiscal analysis, and a fairly complex process to do that. This has been of interest to a number of the fire districts in other counties. I don't know if it's of interest here in Lake County, but I offered that I'd be willing to do that if you think there would be interest.
I don't know of any reason at this time to do that, but that's certainly something to keep in mind about mentioning it to the chief.
Okay, yeah, I mean, you know, it's really some concern in those counties where consolidations are being looked at.
I guess there's a question also, volunteers, would the volunteers be considered as the part of the employees, or just paid? Is there a distinction between?
Well, that's one of the questions that the bill doesn't resolve, but there's no such thing truly as a volunteer anymore.
They're all paid when they're on now.
So they're probably employees, and so, for example, and one of the things that this was of concern was, some of these districts, they were basically replacing volunteers with paid employees from the other agency. So that would probably be a change of status triggering the law.
I'll pass it on, but we'll keep in contact.
Okay.
Thank you, Scott.
Sure.
Anyone else? Any correspondence?
I have one piece of correspondence here. It's the hearing on special districts by the Little Hoover Commission. There was a report done by Pamela Miller, LAFCo executive officer, and it's a really good primer on LAFCo, the status of LAFCOs in California today, what's going on, and all the kind of the A to Z of LAFCO summarized in 19 pages as a response. I posted this on the website on the Little Hoover Commission, and so it's something that's a good read if you want to learn something about LAFCO and what's going on statewide. And I think it's a really important thing to read. I didn't want to make a bunch of copies for you, just put it on the website. And that's the best from that. And I'm sure there's going to be a report at the LAFCo, because at the hearing, at the LAFCo conference regarding this letter, the CSTA, the Special Districts Association, also sent a letter. I can't remember if I posted that one. They sent me a copy. If not, I'll post it also. But I'm just curious that the Little Hoover Commission is going to issue some sort of a report at some time. And that's what that's what we will want to look at.
Okay. Well, Don, you've been very busy. Thank you for working so hard for us.
Yeah, it just seems like there's just a lot of stuff happening.
Lots of little stuff and big stuff.
Yeah, well, yeah, there is. There's quite a bit. And I do get calls from time to time about future annexations. Maybe things are kind of loosening up a little. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
All right. Well, thank you. Next meeting is November 16th in Lake Park. We'll adjourn until then.
That